Dear friends, welcome back to Automate with Rakesh. In this video, using UiPath AI Center, we are going to create a new project. Do you know what is that project is all about? This project is about UiPath AI Center sentiment analysis. So let's see how this can be done. First of all, let's move on to AI Center. Here I'm going to first create a project and provide a name. So I'll say sentiment analysis. So I'll say product review. So actually I'm going to review few product comments. Okay, product reviews sentiment analysis. So here you can provide a proper description. This is to this model. You can say this machine learning project will show the sentiment on a product review, on any product review. Okay, you can write a proper description as needed, any product review, right? So let's hit on create. So how that sentiment will appear, all that you will get to know. Now, before you start the project, it is important for you to understand which machine learning package you are going to use. For that, click on the ML package. And here you see something called out of the box packages. I'm going to click on this. After that, if you scroll down, you see something called open source packages. In this, you would find something called language analysis. Okay, there are multiple cards. I'm going to use the language analysis. And inside this, again, you have multiple cards. And one of them is sentiment analysis. This is an open source model. So I'm going to select this particular package as my very first step. It is important for you to read the description of the model. So if you look at this model was open sourced by Facebook Research. It predicts the sentiments of a text in English language. Possible predictions are one of them. For example, it can say whether the review or the comment is a very negative comment, neutral comment, positive comment, very positive comment. So these are the four different outputs that you would get from this model. This model was trained on Amazon product review data. Thus, the model predictions may have some unexpected results for different data distributions. It could have some unexpected results. A common use case is to route unstructured language content, example emails, to an appropriate responder based on the sentiment of the text. So mostly it would work. Let's apply this and see how it is working. Okay. Now the input description. Text to be analyzed, for example, I am dissatisfied with the service. So looking at the sentence, what do you think? Is it a positive statement or a negative statement? So the sentiment here in this statement is negative. I am dissatisfied. So the output description, what kind of an output you would get? This is the output exactly you would get from the machine learning model. Let me copy this output to a notepad. And you can see this is how it will appear. Sentiment, very negative, and it will give you a score, 97% confident. Okay, so very negative. So this is how the output would appear. Now let's move back. And here I'm going to hit on submit. I'm going to use this model. Let's use it for product review sentiment analysis. Okay, and here rest you can leave as it is, and I'm going to hit on submit. So now the very first step, what did you do? You have selected the right package you would like to use. So I have selected my package. The next step, you have to click on ML skills, and here you have to hit on create new and provide a name. I'll give a similar name, product review sentiment analysis ML. Okay, and you can choose the package. Just now you have selected and given a name. Select the version. Okay, you can enter some skill description. Here in this one, I'm going to use this option. So what is this option? Make ML skill public. That means if you make it public, if you enable this option, this is going to provide you with two different output. That is, it will have a API URL. It will have a API key. Using the URL and API key, I'm going to show you how you can use them outside of the UiPath platform. For example, if you don't want to use within the studio, outside of UiPath platform, any other application on where you can use the API link, those things can also be done. But for this project, I'll be using the API key, API URL within the UiPath Studio and show you how they are used. I'm going to leave all the options as it is and going to hit on create. Okay, now you can see this is in the deploying state. This will take few minutes for it to become available. Let's wait until that time. After waiting for some time, you can see the ML skill is now available for use. So let's move on to the couple of things before we get on. Click on this ML skill. And in the ML skill, you can easily see there are two things available. One is the API key, which is available, and the URL. After this video demo, I'm going to refresh the API key or delete this particular API key because this API keys should not be exposed in a public way. So I'm going to delete them after this, recording this video. But at the moment, you can see these are the API key and URL. The moment you made this ML skill public, you will see these values. Great. Now let's go back to our studio, UiPath Studio. In this, I'm going to create a sequence and provide a name. Let's say I will say product sentiment or product review sentiment analysis. Okay, and I'm going to hit on create. So once the sequence is created, the very first thing you need to first understand how the ML skill work. Then you will create a project, correct? Now let's click on the plus sign and use the ML skill activity. In case you do not see this activity, the ML skill activity is not present, then what you do, simply install UiPath.ml services.activities package. After you install, you will see this activity. Great. Now here there are two options available. One you can connect using robot, one you can connect using endpoint. Some of my earlier videos where you have seen I was using the robot option and trying to use the ML skill from the AI Center. This time I'm going to use the endpoint. The moment you select endpoint, it will ask you two inputs. Provide me the URL, provide me the API key. So let's go back to AI Center and I'm going to copy this URL from here and I'm going to paste this particular URL within double quotes. Done. Next thing, it is asking for the API key. I'm going to copy this and paste it here. Now, how does it work? In case you would like to see how it works, all you do, hit on test skill. And here again, you have to enter those specific things. So I'm first entering the API key and I need to enter the URL. I'll copy this. I'll go here, keep your mouse pointer towards little slightly right, because if I keep it here, it was not getting that option to type. So if I keep it on the right hand side, I got it. Now I'm going to paste it. Okay, so this doesn't require a double quote. Now let's write a sentence. So I'll say, I am very happy with my new TV. The sound quality is really, really good. So this is a very positive sentence, right? Now if you hit on test skill, this is going to analyze the sentence and is going to show you, okay, the sentiment is very positive. And what is the score? 0.72 score. So it is saying very positive. Great. So you can see how this is working. So what is the input required? A sentence is required, which you have to pass it to this ML. If you pass a sentence, it is going to show you the output. So you have understood a bit about how this ML skill work. So the input has to be gone in a string format. Okay. Now for the moment, let's keep it aside. Let me show you. I have created a simple Excel file, which you can easily type it on your own. I have written few lines of sentences. For example, very good portable charger I have been using from last 6 months and it's really good, right? Like that, let me delete all the predictions. Earlier I was trying to test it. So here, this is how you will write certain sentences here. This kind of a data sets are easily available online on Kaggle and other websites. You can easily download some of the open data sets that are available and you can have a large But here I felt to record the video, I think 4 or 5 lines of sentences I can type. So I did that. So I've typed a couple of sentences here. You can see some of them are very positive, some of them are negative. Poor performance observed in this laptop, the battery dies in 1 hour. I have written one neutral sentence. For example, this purchase is okay, okay, average product for this price range. So like that, you can write some neutral sentences, very negative sentences, negative, positive, very positive. Like that, you can write your own sentences and see how the AI is going to predict. So simple. Please create a Excel file like this. So I'm going to save this file and I want the prediction values here and the confidence score here. All right, so you got the file. Let's go back to the studio and start designing the project. The very first activity I need is a read range workbook activity. You can use Excel, the modern activities also you can go for. Let me select the file, which is here, done. And let's provide which is the sheet contains that sheet 1. And let's save this to a data table variable. So I'm going to create a variable here called dt1. Now, after that, I would like to loop through this data because this ML will take only one sentence at a time, right? You have to loop through it. So I'll say for each row data table. And I'm going to pass this dt1. And inside this, I'm going to have the ML skill. Okay. And how would you pass the input here? By using this. Now I am finding certain problems with this particular activity. So if you see here, this is grayed out and sometimes it comes and sometimes it doesn't come. See, I'm not able to click here. So for this, I found a simple way. What I can do is I'll simply refresh the page by hitting on robot. See, now again, I will go back to the endpoint. So it will remember all your endpoints. So it is still not working. So I'm trying to just toggle between things. Okay. Now the input got enabled. So what I will do, I'll go back. It might happen to you. If this happens for this activity, just try this out. So input type should be JSON. And now it is allowing me to type here. Maybe some kind of a bug that I am seeing at the moment. So I have got all my URL and API key placed. Now I have to pass the item. Okay. Now how do you pass the item? Now to pass the item, because you are inside a for each loop, the current row contains your data. So I'm going to say current row. I'll write in a bigger screen. So I'll say current row in the bracket. What is the column name? You need to open the Excel. So the column name, whatever I have given, product reviews. Let me copy that. And within double quote, let's paste it. And then say dot toString. So you're passing the value in a string format. That's all. Pretty simple. Click on save. So what would happen? This ML is going to analyze that and is going to pass that output in JSON format. So here let's create a variable called JSON response. Okay, you saw that data, right? Within the curly braces, I have copied into the notepad. So this is how the output will come. So it will give you the value here. So the key is called sentiment and this is the confidence key and this is the value. So this is the entire JSON format. Okay, so once I have the JSON response, the next thing I need to, because this will come in a single line, so I need to really put that in the pretty format, in the JSON format. For that, the next activity that I need is deserialize JSON. So any JSON activity that you have already used, you may be knowing, after you receive the JSON response, you deserialize that. And I have a complete video in case you are very new how to handle JSON. If you're not sure, I have a lot of videos around JSON on my channel. You can watch it. So deserialization. So here, this activity is part of which package? If you highlight this, it is part of UiPath.web API activities. And if you see my project panel, I have installed it already. In case this doesn't appear, you know what to do. I'm going to pass the JSON response. And I'm going to have this output inside a variable called JSON object. Okay. Now the next task would be, how will you write it to an Excel? So you got the JSON object. So JSON object would look in a pretty formal. Let me print and show you how it appears so that it will be easy for you. So for example, JSON object, that's the variable I've created, right? Okay, so I'm going to simply run this dot toString. Let's save and run it. So it is going to go through all that data that I have already have in the Excel file. Let me close this. And debug this. Okay, so you can see how you can see the output, right? The output panel, it ran very fast, but you could easily see it here. See how it is coming. For the first line, the confidence 0.7, it is a positive sentence, is a positive sentence. The third sentence is a very negative sentence. So this is the JSON object from this curly braces until here. So this is one JSON object. This is another JSON object response. So like that, you are getting all the JSON objects. Now, how do you really write it to an Excel? You need to have certain technique, right? Let me show you how I can write it to the Excel. Now, once I have the JSON object, I don't need the write line. I'll use a write cell workbook activity. Okay, and let's show the bot where that file is available. So let me go to documents, select the file, and the sheet name you provide sheet 1, and here the cell where you like to write. So if you remember, the A column where we had the product reviews, the B column where the predictions I have to enter. So what I will do, this cell right here in the property panel, I'm going to click on it. I'm going to show you how you can write this. Now every time, because the loop is running, this for each loop has a output called index. So I'm going to create a variable here, index. So that means the very first time when it runs, the index value will be 0, 1, 2, 3, like that. Okay, so index variable will be very, very helpful here. So this index variable, I'm going to use it here in the write cell activity. How? Simply go to the cell, and here, because you know that you have to write this in the B column, correct? So I will put a double quote and write B plus I'm going to use the index variable just now I have created plus 2, because you will be writing, for example, the header is a B1 cell. After that you have B2, right? So because the index value is 0, that's why I'm adding 2. So 0 plus 2, it become B2, the very first cell under the B column after the header. So this is how you would be doing it. And then I'm going to simply say dot toString. So every time the loop runs, the index value will increase and automatically it's going to write the data for us. Okay, done. Now, what kind of a value would you like to write? Let me show you how would you write the value. So the value is there in which variable? JSON object variable. So take that JSON object variable. And then I asked you to copy this format, right? The JSON format. So this is the key. Sentiment is the key. So you copy this key with double quotes. JSON object, within the parenthesis, I'm going to simply paste it. So it is going to show me that prediction, whether it is positive, negative, and all that will appear. And all I have to do is simply say dot toString. Done. Pretty simple. Click on save. And let's copy this and paste once again. The next value I have to write, let me also show you the Excel file so that you can correlate. So here all prediction I'm writing in the B2, B3, like that the loop will write. Next is the confidence score, which is there in the C column. Okay, so small changes required here in the cell. I will say C column. Formula remains the same. And what to write? Go to the notepad again. You have to write this key, confidence key. Go back and change this from sentiment to confidence. Easy. Now there are a couple of things you want. I don't want in 0.97 and all that. I want 97% or 77%. You tell me like that. So what I will do, before converting this to string, I'll convert this value to a double. So convert to double. Okay. And then I'm going to multiply this value with 100. So what would happen? 0.97 or whatever that value is coming, it will now become 97 dot. And then after that, I don't want the decimal values, for example. So it depends on your need. Math. So I'll write another function, math dot round, and I would like to round it to 0. So that means the decimal values won't appear. Done. And after everything is done, then I am going to convert this to string. Simple. And I'm going to save this. Okay, pretty simple code. So now the project is almost done. Let's save it. And let's close the Excel file in case I've kept it open. And I'm going to run this. Now let's see how the AI is going to work, right? Let's see that. So you can see it is looping through the data and the ML skill is constantly working and the project is done now. Let me go to the documents, open the file, and here you can easily see the scores. So here the very first sentence, let's read one by one. Very good portable charger I have been using from last 6 months and it's really good. So it says positive, that's okay. Sound quality of this speaker is really good, better than any other product. It says positive with 47 score. The scores are slightly low, but again, I feel the prediction is quite good. Poor performance observed in the laptop, the battery dies in 1 hour, very negative. So it gave 78 mark. And then I would like to return this product but no options available, so the confidence score is very high here, 96. I would like to return the product, so very negative, so has a good score. The best I could get in this price range, this TV comes with lots of advanced features and great build quality, so very positive. So this is very positive because I have explained quite good details in the sentence. The next one, this purchase is okay, average product for this price range. So it gave a neutral. So I think all of the sentences has been predicted quite well. So I'm happy with the model. It is actually predicting quite well. So you can test with your own data set and see how it is predicting. Based on that, you can be a judge to decide whether to go for that model or not. Okay, so for me, for this demo purpose, it really worked quite well. So now you can see the entire project is ready and you have started using the ML skill. And one new thing that you have learned here is how to use the endpoint. And after this project, I'm going to delete those endpoints in case you are exposing your endpoints to any other person. So ensure you change it or delete it or whatever you like to do, but do not keep the same API key. So thank you guys for watching it. We are going to meet once again in our next content. Till then, take care.